Hello and welcome back to the Avoid the Tyre podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the next generation of Formula One drivers and the legacies, who are the sons/daughters of Formula One drivers. Russia was heartbreaking.
I don't even know what to say about that one. I'm just forgetting that race. That race didn't happen.
Yes. Well, I feel like I saw on Twitter, Twitter is great, that it was potentially the start of the new era of F1 drivers with, what was it, Lando and George, on top.
I honestly how George got P3. But then he dropped a lot, but I don't get how he got P3.
Oh,
I think a lot of it was just luck and being a little bit ballsy with the tyre choice. Because obviously he was the first one to change to slicks, wasn't he? So he got more time to get used to the tyres, get them warmed up, everything. And then put in a cracking lap. Obviously, Lewis spinning on his fast lap. He also pitted a lap later, so he didn't actually have them 2 warm-up laps that he needed.
Yeah, but if he pitted earlier, I feel like, and didn't spin and hit the wall, he would have got pole. But
yeah,
he kind of messed up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was out when qualifying was happening, and I turned on Instagram, and then I went, "Oh my God, Lando Norris on pole!" and started jumping about. And my brother and my mum were like, "Are you okay? Do you need oxygen?"
I literally woke up and I was like, "What the heck?" Have I woken up in reality or something? I didn't expect. I know, I wanted Lando on pole. I know he's capable, but I didn't expect him to be on pole.
No, that's it. And to have Carlos there next to him as well, and then George to be third. Yeah. I was sat watching it, and I was just like, oh my God, I was just speechless for about an hour afterwards. I just did not know what to do.
But it just shows who they are as drivers.
Yeah. What do you guys think to Max's comments about George? Have you heard them?
Oh no, what's the tea?
I saw something on my Facebook earlier about, apparently Max has said that yes, George is good and everything, but him being able to do what he does shows that the car isn't as crap as he makes out it is.
But the car is crap.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's made George's car look better than it is.
Yeah, but he's basically saying that it's the car that's doing it, and he's just being able to maximize how good the car is.
But then look at Latifi though. That's the thing. There's a complete difference, and the last couple of years as well. And I feel like yes, the car's developing, but George is using everything and maximizing how good he is.
Yeah,
and I don't think. If it was another driver, I don't think they'll be in the same position as George. I don't think
that's it.
Points and all that, getting a podium.
That's it. I think.
Sorry, George is
a
sensational driver, and honestly, some people just need to keep their opinions to themselves.
The thing is, as well, everyone used to always say that the Mercedes was such a difficult car to drive. George literally got told the same week as the race that he was going to be jumping into a Mercedes that he was too big for, he had never driven, and was like, "Off you pop, go race for us." And he nearly won that race if it wasn't for the pit stop mess ups. That shows George's talent. And that, he was in the best car on the grid that weekend, but he'd never driven it before.
And how he overtook Bottas as well, who's been in that car for
I just find it comical how much taller George is than everybody else. him and Esteban are like the tallest, aren't they?
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton weighs 73 kilograms.
Oh, he's tiny.
My guy is Diddy. He's 5'7", Lewis Hamilton, and George is 6 foot something. So there's a fair
6'3".
whack. Are the old people like moving on? Like Fernando, bye bye.
You don't like him, do you?
No.
I think I'll be gutted when Lewis and Seb leave. And
Yeah.
obviously, like, Kimmy's leaving at the end of this season.
That was sad.
Alonso, he said that he wants to stay a bit longer and he thinks he could get another title.
Sorry.
I don't think that bit's doable just because you've got the likes of Lando, George, Max, Carlos and Charles. You've got all of these coming through. You've still got Lewis there for another 2 years. I don't think he's going to get that another title.
It depends what team he's in. Like, if he's in a better team, then maybe. But if he's just going to stick with Alpine, then I don't know. Fair enough, they've won like, and they're getting points, but unless their team and the car develops next season and it's a complete turnaround, I don't think he's going to get another title. Like, I get where he's coming from, but I just don't see it. Like, no offense to him or anything, but
I think, yeah, if he was in a better car and things, and then maybe, yeah, he's obviously shown that he's got the talent before. He's got a title, but I don't think with the current drivers on that grid, in the cars that they are in compared to his, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, the Alpine, like when it was Renault, back in the day, last season, he was like, they were fighting for, what was it, P3 in the constructors, and now they're fighting to not be P7. So, like, that's my interpretation.
But it's like, have you seen Aston Martin are nearly 100 points behind where they was this time last season?
Are they?
Yeah. Last season, Racing Point had like 100 and something points, and this year they're like 100 points behind that.
barely any.
They're not doing great this season.
But then next season could be totally different because we've got a new car and all that. So
Yeah.
Unpredictable.
I think I'm a bit concerned about the Red Bull next season, if I'm completely honest, because every other team has been like, we're focusing on next year's car, like we're going to bring small updates or no updates, and it's all hands on deck for next year's car. Whereas Red Bull seem to be like, we want the championship this year, we're going to get the championship this year, so we'll sort next year's car out later.
Yeah, I feel like they're like very power hungry, and I feel like they can see that they can get it, so they're focusing everything on getting it, but then rather think about the other picture. But I'm also concerned about because they're not really performing this year, and like you don't know where they're going to be next season as well. It could be about the same, but
that's it. Like, and I'm a little bit apprehensive about next season, to be honest, because I know the design of the new car is so that they can race closer.
Yeah,
but does that mean that we're just gonna get DRS trains the whole way around because everyone can sit up each other's asses?
Yeah, the thing is with the cars, they're a lot bigger and a lot heavier and all that. But then if you're trying to go through Monaco, that's gonna be so much difficult.
Yeah.
People complain how it's a boring race. There's going to be barely any overtakes. Then next season is going to be like nothing, unless there's a crash, and then
spicy.
It doesn't make sense.
That's it. I think there's certain tracks on the calendar that are there because of the history rather than because of the racing.
Yeah.
I think obviously when you could get two cars and gaps either side going through the tunnel in Monaco, absolutely brilliant. But now it's just too tight. It's too like, love the danger factor and all that, but it's too dangerous to the point that the drivers don't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
Well, look at Formula E. They were like bashing each other, like bumper cars. The cars, they're like really curvy and like wibbledy wobbledy. Thank you for listening. What do you guys think of the, I can never say this place right, Qatar place that's been added to the track?
It looks
yeah.
It's just a simple track, you know. This is just,
that's it. There's only one DRS bit, and that's the main straight, because there's only one straight. I think it's turns 12, 13 and 14 or something like that you can just go flat out through. They're not even proper corners. And I know they use it for the bikes and things at the minute, but we've seen from other tracks that, yeah, they might be suitable for bikes, but not for Formula One cars.
I feel like they're only using that track for the hell of it. And like,
yeah.
And it's going to be for the next, like, they're on a contract for what, 10 years? I think.
Yeah.
They'll probably be like, yeah, and then like everyone's going to hate it. But then we're stuck with it for 10 years.
Yeah. I think out of like the Middle Eastern countries that they race in, Qatar is kind of one of the better ones in a sense, for the rights and things, because like women can actually work there and things. But yeah, I think if they want this we race as one thing, then is it going to end up like a few weeks ago when Seb wore his Pride t-shirt and had a go at kind of from when he got called to the stewards and things? Is it going to end up like that, where the drivers are going to want to make a statement whilst they're in the country and they're going to get backlash for it? Yeah.
For Mick Schumacher, because he has so much pressure like on his shoulders. Like, his dad is one of the GOATs and he's like Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, well,
I
think,
do feel bad for him.
Yeah, but they came in knowing all of that and like how much pressure he got. So
it's just, imagine being like a little 9-year-old kid doing karting and then you use a fake name and somebody discovers you're actually a Schumacher. They're like, oh my god, you're a Schumacher. That would just
people probably used him as well because of the name, which is unfair, but
it's expected.
Well, that's it. Like, Haas actually said, I think it was in the Drive to Survive series, they needed a Russian driver because of their, like, the brand that they were using and things. And then obviously Mazepin bought himself the seat, sort of thing. But they also said one of the brands that they're sponsored by is German. And they said that they would put their brand on the car if they had a German driver in that seat. So then they was like, well, Schumacher, it brings the name, it brings the money, everything. So then they put him in the car, which I don't think is fair in a sense. Like, he's shown that he's got the talent, but unless the Haas is really good next year, I think it could end up like George in a sense, where yeah, he's got the talent, but he's in a crap car and he has been for a few years now.
I did say,
and he don't get that chance.
I did say that if the Haas starts winning races next year, when I'm legally old enough, I will get the Steiner tattooed on me. But yeah, if that actually happens, I will do it.
I feel like they don't have enough money to improve and do all the improvements, because like, fair enough, they're a small team, but compared to when they first started and now where they are, it's just turned to crap, you know. And I feel bad for Schumacher. Like, he's got the potential, but he's just in a crappy car, and I don't see him, as much as I want him to go to a different team, I don't see him moving anytime soon because there's no spots, you know? Unless someone leaves or moves teams, I don't think he's going to be able to progress.
Yeah. So the budget cap is currently 145 million quid, which, let's be honest, we'd all love that much money.
Yeah.
They're cutting it to maybe next year, I think, or year after, to 135 million. And then Haas can only afford about 80 to 100 million. So they are like way below the budget cap.
Yeah. I think they're cutting it by 5 mil every year.
Okay.
Yeah. So this year, obviously the budget cap at the minute is 145 now. 2022, I think it goes to 140, and then the year after is 135, and I think that's where they're going to leave it for now. But because obviously they're adding more races to the season, but they've kept like the amount of engines you're allowed to use like the same and all that. And obviously they know people are going to need extra engines and things, so they're trying to keep the budget kind of civil. But obviously, like for Haas and things, if they're not even reaching that budget, then it's a little bit of a concern. But I think if they don't start winning soon, then we might end up with 9 constructors.
Yeah. Well, isn't like Porsche wanting to come into F1? I feel like
at 26, 2 little dudes are coming in.
Yeah. I feel like that would be much better as well. And I know also how Toto was talking about having like 3 cars or something, which that will be more exciting as well. But then that's more money, and if they're going to have their budget cut and all that, it's not going to work.
That's it, and I think they keep coming out with all these like new ideas and everything, but then it kind of doesn't work in a sense because they want to make it so like it's less harmful to the like environment and everything. But so they're looking at going more and more electric, but they can't go too electric because then it's Formula E.
Yeah.
And then they wanna add more races, but then leave them with the same amount of engines. And like they're basically saying every driver is going to end up with a grid place penalty because of like they're going to need an extra engine.
Yeah.
And
they're kind of, aren't they?
Yeah, and then obviously with the budget cuts, but this year I think there's been that many bloody red flags, accidents, a lot. I think this has probably been the most like accidents and things that I've seen in a season. Like I think last year we had quite a few sort of mid-table sort of crashes, but there seems to be a lot of big ones this year. So I completely forgot the other day that Russell and Bottas's crash was this season. I thought it was like last season.
What? Just seen that it's Audi and Porsche that are looking to come to F1, and that would make it better for Formula 2 and 3, because big up Dennis Hauger for just winning the F3 championship. Love that bloke. And Oscar Piastri could get the Alpha seat, but that would open up more opportunities for him. Al, just smack me off the wall. Yeah,
definitely gives more opportunities for like rookies and all that, and like also people in like drivers' teams and all that, because how they're stuck. They're in like a driver academy and all that, but they can't move anywhere, no seats, and they're just stuck there. Having more teams will definitely help.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know they have like obviously you've got your F4, your F3, your F2, and then your F1. But like the gap from like F4, F3, and F2 isn't that big. And then all of a sudden, like, the gap to get into Formula One is huge. And the fact that obviously you've got drivers then, like, they've brought Alonso back. He's 40. Like, they've still got Lewis in there. Lewis has been in there how long? Like, Kimi, like, you've got drivers that will be in there for the long haul. Like, Max obviously joined in 2015, was it?
Yeah.
Like, that is a seat that isn't going to free up anytime soon. And when you've only got 20 seats and you've got all these, like, drivers then in F2 that do deserve that seat, some more than the F1 drivers currently, it's then, I don't know, there kind of needs to be that in the middle bit with, like, the ones that win the championship and things. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, like adding something extra in just to make that gap a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I agree. Like, look at Liam Lawson. Are you ready for this pronunciation? Yuri Vips. They are basically sat waiting. Well, Liam's doing DTM, but they're sat waiting in Formula 2 because there's no Red Bull / AlphaTauri seats available. And poor Pierre is still a part of the Red Bull Junior program thingy. And he just needs to, like, not be, because they just don't treat him right.
No. I feel like they get into Alex and they do with Pierre, which is not, like, kind of bad, but not, you know. Like, fair enough, they've made Alex get a seat, but it's just with Pierre, he's just been like stringing along. Like, he wants the seat in Red Bull, but he can't. I just feel bad for him.
But there's so much talent coming up through the ranks that they need to make it more accessible, as Caitlin, I think it was, said, because Formula E is quite a good route because, you know, you go there, like, do well, come back to Formula One. But I feel like Indy's not a good route to go because Indy, I think it's quite different to F1. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But
I think with IndyCar, I think that is more your typical driving around in circles. Like, I know everyone takes the mick and says, like, oh, why do you watch Formula One? They're just driving circles. But IndyCar do just drive around in circles on some tracks. Like, it is, I think it's a lot different. But yeah, I don't know. I just think there is these people that deserve that seat in F1, but because they only want 20 drivers, there's just, you could be waiting years before you actually get that opportunity.
Yeah, and then you just get of waiting, something that people just go do something different.
Yeah.
Even though it's their work, like being F1, I feel like reality hits them and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Look at Callum Aylar. He did endurance. Liam Lawson's doing DTM. Albon did DTM. A couple of them went off to, like, Formula E and stuff. Like Nick de Vries, he was quite a good candidate for a seat this year, but he isn't getting a seat. So, money.
I think what will be interesting as well is, like, Albon's gone to Williams next season, but Red Bull have already said that they can, like, if they want him, they'll just sign him back.
Yeah.
And
no.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's had to be let free from Red Bull to be able to join, because obviously Toto didn't sound happy about the fact that they'd have a Red Bull driver with a Mercedes engine in the back of the car. And I'm glad that he's had to do that, and he will have had to sign all the secrecy acts and all that, so he won't be allowed to tell Red Bull anything. But whether that will stop him is a different thing. Like,
you know,
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because I know I'm not a massive fan of Horner. I can't say that I don't roll my eyes every time he comes onto the screen because he just winds me up. And I feel like that is something he'd do. Like that is his sort of pettiness.
Yeah, very much. And he wants to win. He will do anything to win and to look better than Toto because their relationship is just a love and hate relationship, and they always want to be each other. So
that's it. Like he's even said, like the best part about this like rivalry then and this season with Max and Lewis is watching Toto get more and more wound up.
Yeah, but I feel like very calm. It's more Christian, like saying like crap about everyone and like Toto, but Toto's like, eh.
I think as well, like as much as I am a Lewis fan and everything, and I will openly admit it, although around some people I won't because I'd probably get lynched. I can also admit when it was his fault, like in a crash and things like that, because I think with the reason Horner really winds me up is because if, say, like Silverstone then, it was more Lewis's fault than Max's. So he just wouldn't shut up about it because Lewis was in the wrong and he tried to kill one of his drivers and he ended up in hospital and all this and he would not shut up about it. But then Monza, where a lot of people saw it as it was more Max's fault than Lewis, it's a racing incident. It's absolutely fine. And he's done it a few times in the past where Max has done some pretty risky moves and has caused an accident or something. And instantly it's a racing incident and you don't want to talk about it. But if it's someone else's fault, he does.
So Toto was more quieter.
Yeah.
Compared to Christian with Silverstone. Like, fair enough. With Silverstone, Max did get hurt and had to go through all that. But I just feel like Christian definitely overreacted and made it 10 times worse than it was. But I feel like that's who he is, and I feel like that being a team principal, you always want to make your team look so much better and all that, and degrade every other team, especially if you're rivals as well.
I think as well with him is, like you said, he wants to make his team look better, but reacting the way he does has actually made his team look worse sometimes. Like the amount of people I've seen on Twitter and like in the comment sections on like Instagram or TikTok and things, and saying they used to be massive fans of Red Bull and Horner's turned them away from it. Like they don't want to be a part of that anymore because it's so toxic. And like the way that they've tracked Gasly and Albon and things like that, it seemed like a toxic team to be a part of. And it's like Perez, I don't think he's got signed for next season, but I think that'll be his last. I
feel like Horner sometimes eats off Helmut's spoon. I don't know if that's right, but like he like agrees with Helmut even if he doesn't really agree with Helmut. Like if that makes sense. The Alpine Academy is useless. Thank you. Yeah.
Drop the mic.
There you go. Drop the water ball. The Ferrari Driver Academy is a good driver academy. Ferrari Driver Academy is like GOAT of driver academies. Sauber, it's like you don't hear much about it. Got to think all the driver academies now. McLaren, nothing much really happens with that young driver program.
Well, because like they're stuck there with the drivers, aren't they? I feel like it's very good when people move and they're more likely to go places, but
I think it's kind of interesting because Dan Ticktum got kicked out of 2 driver academies, Red Bull and
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
My guy has a problem. I would love to be part of the Ferrari driver academy though. Where do I sign up?
I wonder if Charles will ever get to drive with his brother.
Ooh.
I
don't know. Someone said on
That'd be an
TikTok,
interesting one.
Carlos is probably going to lose his Ferrari seat in favour of Mick. Because Mick. Ooh, did you know? Just got to say things when they pop in my head. Kimi Räikkönen's kid does, what's it called? Karting. So, you know, he could be a star of the future.
I kind of hope that one day Lewis Hamilton has a kid.
Mm.
Just have
I feel like
Hamilton.
that one, but I don't know. Unless you're in like relationship or something, like secret relationship.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Avoid the Tyre podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to comment down below who you would like to see as a guest in the future or what you would like to hear us talk about. Bye!